Mr. Speaker, I rise in strong support of HR 5563, the Generations Invigorating Volunteerism and Education Act, the first reauthorization of the national and community service laws and programs since 1993. The legislation we are considering today includes all of the amendments approved last week by voice vote. It also includes a provision on background checks from the Republican motion to recommit. This bill is a bipartisan product. Speaker, the volunteer and community service programs, tens of millions of through volunteer and community service programs, tens of millions of Americans of different generations have become inspired to build stronger, more vibrant communities, to help children succeed in school and rebuild cities in times of disaster. In 2006, more than 61 million Americans gave back to their communities through service.
Will members on the majority side please take their conversations off the floor or to the cloakroom? Gentlemen, will proceed.
The GIVE Act recognizes this growing service movement that is taking place across the nation. It builds upon the successful work being done by members of AmeriCorps, of VISTA, of the Senior Corps, and the Learn and Serve America. The GIVE Act would put us on a path to increasing the number of AmeriCorps members from 75,000 to 100,000 by 2012, with a focus on engaging low-income, disadvantaged, and at-risk young people. The GIVE Act would also help AmeriCorps members pay for college by increasing the scholarship they earn in exchange for their service from $4,725 to $5,255 by 2012. This bill would introduce young people to community service by creating a new summer service initiative that will offer middle school and high school students the opportunity to spend a summer working to improve the communities while earning $500 toward college or college preparation. Alumni of service programs remain a valuable resource to our communities. After Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast communities, AmeriCorps alumni played a key role in relief, recovery, and rebuilding efforts on the Gulf Coast. To help tap into these resources in times of emergency, this bill would create an alumni reserve corps to service alumni with previous disaster relief experience. Each year, nearly 500,000 older Americans participate in the Senior Corps programs, mentoring children of prisoners, providing independent living services to seniors, assisting victims of natural disaster, and mobilizing other volunteers. The GIVE Act would expand the purpose of the Senior Corps programs by adding an emphasis on recruiting retired science, technology, healthcare, law enforcement, and military professionals to help with education, after-school, public safety, and technology needs. I want to thank the many members on both sides of the aisle who have worked on this bill, in particular Representative McCarthy on our side of the aisle, Representative McKeon, and Mr. Platts on the other side who's handling the bill today, for their leadership, well as the Service Caucus for its support. Let me also thank the Voices of Service and its member organizations, which have been invaluable in helping us develop this legislation. Service and volunteerism have played an important role in our nation's history and will continue to help us meet the challenges and the needs of our communities. This legislation reflects the important role and builds upon it, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my chairman, George Miller, for the great work that he has done. You know, this is a great day for national service. It's been 15 years since we have reauthorized our national service laws. As chairwoman of the Healthy Families and Communities Subcommittee, I am pleased to speak in support of HR 5563, the Generations Invigorating Volunteerism and Education Act, the GIVE Act. Unfortunately, this legislation hit a procedural hurdle last week, but I am glad the House will today have a chance once again to pass this important piece of legislation. The bill before us today incorporates the amendments that were accepted on the floor last week, including my manager's amendment and amendments offered by Representative McKinney, Matsui and Shays, Inslee, Sarbanes, McDermott, 3 amendments from Representative English, and 2 amendments from Representative Sutton. It also includes the language from the Republican motion to recommit. The administration and the service community support the GIVE Act. I would like to thank Chairman Miller again for his continued support and work on this reauthorization. I would also like to extend my thanks to Ranking Member of our committee, Mr. McKeon, for his hard work. And finally, I would like to thank the Ranking Member of my subcommittee, Mr. Platts, for his work on the reauthorization. I would also like to thank again the staff on both sides of the aisle for their work on this important piece of legislation. National service has a distinguished and strong history in our nation. The benefits of service cannot be duplicated. Evidence shows that the service and volunteering lowest school dropouts and crime rates, lowest costs associated with the aging population, and improves the health among the elderly. Volunteering is a cost-effective way of working to solve the challenges facing our nation. That is why the passage of the GIVE Act is necessary. One of the most effective volunteer organizations in this nation is AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps volunteers offer a range of services on low-income and disadvantaged communities. Our legislation recognizes their invaluable work and increases the number of participants to 100,000. The GIVE Act also encourages programs to recruit underrepresented populations to serve, including scientists and engineers, young people in and or aging out of foster care, children at risk for delinquency, and other disadvantaged young people. I truly believe that expanding national service, particularly to disadvantaged youth, is an effective way to combat things like gangs and violence, and the evidence bears that out. If we are serious about reducing gang violence in this nation, we must take the first step and offer our children an alternative. This legislation creates a Summer of Service program, which gives middle school and high school students an opportunity to become engaged in a positive way within their community. Through the Summer of Service program, our nation's young people will have a chance to serve with others in their own age while improving their community. Research shows that if students are engaged in service at an early age, they will continue to serve throughout their lifetime. We are strengthening the mission of the First Responder Volunteer Program, the National Civilian Community Corps, requiring by more intense disaster emergency relief training during down periods in order to be better prepared for the future. We are all aware of what our nation faced in the wake of Hurricane Katrina, and the NCCC there was to respond and continues to recover today. The GIVE Act will help our nation become better prepared for future disasters by training and preparing more emergency volunteers. The GIVE Act creates a corporation and Office of Outreach and Recruitment. This new office, among other duties, will establish a Reserve Corps made up of those who have gone through the program and are alumni. The Reserve Corps alumni will be called upon during emergency disasters or other times of national need. We heard people asking over and over again during our hearings, why aren't we using our former members? The new outreach office will work to connect the over 500,000 former volunteers who can be a resource for the recruitment. The GIVE Act lowers the age of participation in the National Senior Service to 55 years age. By lowering the age, we are encouraging retiring Americans to participate in national service and giving older Americans the opportunity to lead us into the future. Our nation's retiring and retired adults are a rich resource that no one can duplicate, and nor should they be overlooked. Every American, old and young, has skills that can improve the day-to-day functions of our society. The GIVE Act encourages individuals to get involved, creates a deeper commitment to service, and makes our nation more like what it should be. I again want to thank Chairman Miller for his deep commitment to national service and Ranking Member McKeon and Congressman Platts for their work with us on this bipartisan activity. I do urge all of my colleagues to support this much needed legislation. With that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Contrary to the rumors that you've heard, I was not born in a manger. I was actually born on Krypton and sent here to save the planet Earth.
The Obama deception. On March 15th, the people strike back.